what's good, everyone? Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. We just want to salute you and say, hey, enjoy whatever it is, right? It's your boy Lucky Luciano once again on the ones and twos, and we have my guy as usual, the co-star. Actually, he's not the co-star; he's the man. He's the one that runs the show, and I'm his co-star. On the other line, Moses, what's up? What's
What's
good?
up, man? Everything's good, man. Can't complain, man. Can't complain at all. Got football yesterday. Family, Christmas was wonderful. Oh man, everything's blessed, man. We're really blessed out here.
Amen, amen. We had the kids opening up Christmas gifts, so it was real fun watching them break open Christmas gifts. I had my older nephews with me, and at one point I was like, Our Christmas wasn't like this growing up." So it's good to see the little kids, get to enjoy something that we didn't get to enjoy. Anyway, let's get into it. This is going to be very dolphin heavy YouTube today, because obviously the game just finished up last night. The Dolphins played the eight o'clock game. The playoffs were on the line, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a lot nervous the whole game. Moses and I were together. For those who don't know, I live in Indiana, and Moses lives in Florida, and my family and I flew down to Florida, and so we've been in Florida, and so we were next to each other watching the game, and the whole time I'm sitting there nervous. In fact, I kept saying that we were going to lose. Moses had to keep reminding me, dog, it's only the first 5 minutes of the game. Relax, dude. And so I guess we can start off right here because we're going to be heavy Dolphin centric. Let's just figure it out. What was the biggest takeaway from the game for you, Moses?
My biggest takeaway is that the Dolphins are legit. Their defense is legit. They kept the Raiders. Like the Raiders was moving the ball, but they kept them out the end zone, and that's what really mattered. They scored field goals instead of touchdowns, and at the end of the game, it was close enough to where what happened at the end of the game happened, and they were able to come out with a victory. That's my biggest takeaway. So I understand if they get into the playoffs, they're not going to be in one and done. They can actually hang with anybody. That's what I really believe.
It's interesting because when you say the Dolphins are legit, the first thing. So with when the Raiders kicked that field goal to go up 25-22, my first thought, actually 25. So my first thought is immediately is like, this is the same old Dolphins, right? They suck you in, they pull you in, they make you believe, and then all of a sudden, boom, they find a way to lose, and at the end of the season, they're not in the playoffs. They're back to being 8-8, and so I am my biggest takeaway. So I agree with you. I do agree with you that I think the Dolphins are legit. I remember we had a show 3 weeks ago, right before we played Kansas City, and I told you that I thought the Dolphins could easily lose these next 4 games with no problems. Clearly, I was wrong. We played well against Kansas City, and we've won the last 2. And now the Dolphins are basically staring down the barrel of making the playoffs. All right. And so my biggest takeaway from the game is that these aren't your same old Dolphins, right? They truly do believe in Coach Flores, and that because we're going to get into the Tua thing next, right? When a coach begins to take old player, bring back a new player, and going back and forth, that usually tends to lose the locker room, right? And the fact that these boys are still fighting hard and still wanting to find a way to win for Flores shows me that he's building a great culture amongst this team, right? And so I love the fact that they're finding ways to win. I remember at the third game, was it? They played the Jacksonville Jaguars. Everyone on the NFL Network picked the Jaguars to beat the Dolphins, right? And somehow, some way, the Dolphins did win that game with no problems. And so, yes, I believe the Dolphins are legit, just like you said, but I also believe that Flores is the thing that I noticed the most is that Flores is building a culture where this team won't quit. They will fight every second, every moment. They're not giving up, even though as a fan, I'm sitting there watching the game. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm nervous. Oh no, but no, the Dolphins are finding a way to win. Let's talk about this whole situation. Once again, this is the second game. I didn't know. Did you want to say something else, Moses?
No. That's
Uh,
exactly what you said. You hit it right on it. They're not the same old Dolphins. They're getting it done this year. Like I said before, like they legitimately have a good chance to make a deep run in the playoffs. That defense is good enough to, especially like the past games. Also, they've been causing turnovers, right? So as long as they cause turnovers and they can keep the score relatively close, then the offense can go ahead and do something to make it shake and get that W. I really believe that.
Jumping into the next, the big topic, big topic. This is gonna be the leadoff, right? Monday quarterback. Everybody's gonna be talking about it. What do we think of this whole situation? Once again, this is the second game of the season where Tua is just not moving the offense. We can get into that a little bit as to why we think he's not moving the offense, but he's just not able to move the offense at all. And so Flores, big balls Flores, right? That boy got some big kahunas. For the second time this season, decides that he's going to sub in Fitzmagic. And this time it actually paid off. Last time it didn't pay off quite well against the Denver Broncos, even though Fitz did move the offense against Denver. Clearly here it worked like perfection somehow, some way, right? And so, what do you think about this moving forward? What do you think of Tua overall in this spot where he's getting yanked, where he's still technically the starter, he's still a rookie? What do you think is going on overall with Tua?
I like we discussed this before in the beginning, that Denver game. Like, how did I feel about it? I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now. Like I told you, being a quarterback is a game of pulling from memory and experience. Like, he's not going to have that. Now, granted, it did work for them this time, but just say down the road, where if they don't have a Fitzmagic to rely on, is that going to work for them later? But I don't think it will. Like I said, it worked out this time. I understand why he did it, because they're so close to making the playoffs. They can't lose a game, right? So they're close to making the playoffs. They can't lose a game, and he wants to get into the playoffs. The team wants to get into the playoffs, and that's why when you said that they believe in Flores, like in the past, if a coach does that, it divides the locker room. But the teams, they seem like they're close to making the playoffs. So they trusted him basically. So they're gonna, whatever he does, they're gonna believe in him. Like I tell you this, Fitzmagic is a stopgap quarterback. He is not your full-time quarterback. I remember when he was with the Jets, that's what he was. He got so close to making the playoffs, right? And then he had to win one game. I forgot what year was it. He had to win one game and they didn't win, and we're out of the playoffs for the Jets, right? That's what happens. You can't guarantee on him to being a starting quarterback and get you where you need to be, but in these situations, they could work out perfect. But because he can move the ball down the field. So I understand why he did it. I don't necessarily agree with it. It works this time. Granted, it might not work next time, but we'll see how it goes. It could be a totally different a narrative and story if they bench Tua and Fitzmagic comes in and basically he stinks it up. It'll be a very different story, and people will be calling for basically Flores, saying like you shouldn't do that and all the other stuff. You know how that's how it goes. The only reason why people are saying it's a good move now is because they won the game. That's basically it.
So let me ask you this question. Talk to me a little bit. I'm gonna ask you a question, right? Why do we play these games?
No, to win the game. Yeah, no, I understand that.
Okay. So if it's to win the game, do you try to win at all costs?
Now check this out. I'm gonna ask these questions. At all costs to win the game, even if it causes your rookie quarterback like a shot in your rookie quarterback's confidence. What if you find out that those two games that you pulled him like shot his confidence and he's not the same quarterback that he would have been? So basically, like short-term success over the grand scheme of things, like long-term success. Do you take that?
I see what you're saying, but my thing that I clearly jump on to begin with is if my rookie quarterback is so weak-minded that because he was pulled and now that shot kills his confidence, then I don't want him, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like if Tua is it gets so sensitive to the point where now he's like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I could play quarterback in the NFL. I'm this terrible. No, then you're gone. Now I agree with your assessment of saying that I wouldn't have done it either. But I think I'm more of a traditionalist, and that's why. And by the way, this is my daughter. She decided that she wants to be on the YouTube channel. She wants to go famous very early, and so here she is joining us. Say hello to the people.
Hello.
Okay, she's saying hello to the people. All right, and so I understand. I completely understand them saying that, like, at the end of the day, I think Flores has to do what's best overall for the team. And I think that's what's wrong with coaches oftentimes. Coaches are so focused on individual players that they tend to not do what's best for the team overall. What was best for the team was for us to win that game. We needed to win that game. We lose that game, we're most likely not getting into the playoffs because the Baltimore Ravens aren't losing these next two games, right? And so you needed that W. You needed that W to get in to make sure that you have a shot at the playoffs next week, all right? And so I think, and I said this before on the YouTube channel, one of the problems that we also have is the quarterback position is the only position in the NFL that is so sensitive, right? If a cornerback is getting beat left and right, passes, he's not going to keep. We're not going to keep that receiver in the game. We're going to pull the receiver, dude. Down in Tampa, up in Tampa, because I'm now in Fort Myers right now. Up in Tampa, when your boy Jones fumbles the ball, they literally take my guy out for the rest of the game. Like, no, you can't. We can't continue to baby quarterbacks and expect them to be. Oh, don't worry, you're gonna be okay. Oh, keep playing, keep messing up, keep taking these sacks, keep causing our team to lose, and then it's like, at the end of the day, we just lost the game. This isn't politics. This is all about winning. All about winning. Just like if we're in the AFC Championship, yeah, I know I'm dreaming big right now, right? If we're in the AFC Championship playing Kansas City, if we have an opportunity to beat them, you throw Fitz in. You throw what you have to win the game. You play your best players to help you win the game. The bigger problem that I have with this whole Tua thing is I really fully can't assess him. That's one of the reasons why I don't want him taken out, because I need to assess Tua to see if Tua is a legit prime time quarterback, right? I don't want the average Joe quarterback. I don't want a good quarterback. I don't want a quarterback that can do some things. I want an elite level quarterback. I need a quarterback that can take me and Moses, plug us in at receiver, and go win a championship with us. I need a quarterback that can take his talent, his skill position players and raise their level of play. And that's one of the problems that I have with Tua right now. And where you and I tend to differ is that I haven't been able to see Tua raise the level of the players that are around him. Granted, some of these players don't deserve to be in the league. One of the things that I've realized the past few weeks is that I kept thinking that the Dolphins need one receiver. They actually probably need 2 or 3 receivers, right? And so they do, right? They need to flip it all around because this is not cutting it. But the problem I'm having right now assessing Tua is that I haven't seen him be able to raise the level of the players around him quite yet. Like, you saw the difference when Fitz walked into the game. Gesicki took off. Like, it's like it was a whole nother player. You saw your boy catch the ball, the running back catch the ball, Gaskins, and turn up, fill, and score. So what do you think about that? How do you feel about that, Moses? Like, the fact that Tua hasn't been able to raise the level of the players around him?
I guess you can't.
Come on, give it to me straight. No chaser.
No, you can't raise the level of the players around you when they dropping balls, dude. Like, Like there's a couple of passes, like 2 or 3 beautiful passes, low in a way that where only his receiver can make the play right through the hands, right? And at the end of the game, you got Fitzpatrick throws him the ball, he catches it, and he goes out of bounds, right? You can't have that. You can't rely. I understand that they say there might be some truth to it. Maybe there is some truth to it. Like the way that the ball comes out between a right-hander and a left-hander, that could play a big part of it. But for the most part, I do not think that they have, say, the weapons of, like we were talking earlier, like Herbert, right? They said it for the Chargers. He has legit weapons. Keenan Allen is a legit weapon. He goes, that's the reason why, like I said, Keenan Allen has so many catches, receptions this year, is because that's who he looks for. He looks for Herbert. He relies on him. If Tua had somebody in the same skill set and talent as, say, Keenan Allen, I don't think we have the discussion. He has somebody he can rely on. Like, people are saying that they don't think Tua is that great of a quarterback. First of all, he's a rookie. Second of all, he does not have the skill players around him like other teams to really, like you said, assess if he is that type of player. If you get more playmakers around him and you actually let him finish a game when he's down and the chips are stacked against him, then you'll get the answer of who Tua is. And I really think that Tua is a legit number 1 quarterback. Like the type that will lead you to a championship. I really believe that.
Okay, let me make this point, and then I'm gonna throw this debate that you and I have had this debate a couple of times now, and we're gonna have it again here in front of everybody, right? So first, let's make something clear. One of the problems with the NFL right now, the way it's structured, is that the quarterbacks get a huge chunk of the money. Yeah. Right? Them boys getting paid 30 mil a year, 32 mil a year right now, right? And so that's a huge chunk of your salary cap right there. And so that leaves a little amount for the other positions, right? And so if you're expecting to have elite level quarterback, right, that's getting paid, even average quarterbacks are getting paid over $20 million a year in the NFL. So what the problem is, it doesn't leave you much money to go out and get great skill players. So what you need is, I need a quarterback that's elite enough that if I give him Joe Schmo and Peeny the tiny head on the other side, I expect Peeny and Joe to be able to take off and score points because that quarterback's elite. So now perfect example for me, and I'm gonna ask you, and then we can go back and forth with this a little bit. I look at Pat Mahomes. It doesn't matter who I put with him. Any NFL receiver right now, they guaranteed. Any NFL tight end, they guaranteed Pat Mahomes going to find them and get them the ball. Yes or no?
Yes. Now here's the problem. Are they catching the ball?
I would expect, because he's going to give you enough chances. You make a valid point there. Because if you're dropping the ball, no
matter if the ball's getting to you. If you're dropping the ball, it's still 2nd and 10, 3rd and 10. Down. What? Let's go.
But with Patty Mahomes, the good things is that Patrick is going to give you enough opportunities that you're going to get the chance. So you might have 2 drops, but eventually you're going to catch the ball because his offense is going to give you that much chances. Do you think, let me ask this question. Do you think Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and more specifically, you and I were talking about Mecole Hardman, do you think any of those skill positions players, Sammy Watkins, if they're on any other team, are they who they are right now?
Yes.
So if I put Tyreek Hill, I put Cheetah on the Jets, the New York Jets, your New York Jets, Tyreek Hill is still putting up the points that he's putting up right now.
Yes, because he'll be Sam Darnold's number 1 target. He'll be putting up the same points. All you got to do is get him into open space, dude. It's not even open space, a drag route, a curl route, slant. He's doing the rest.
You see, and that's where I differ from you a little bit. I think Patrick Mahomes elevates those guys. So I'm gonna give you a perfect comparison.
Before you say that, yes, you are. Patrick Mahomes is that elite of a quarterback, but his weapons are elite too. Sammy Watkins is the number 2, number 3 option. Mecole Hardman is number 4 option, right? what I'm saying? Like these dudes, Sammy Watkins is a number 1 on any other team. Mecole Hardman would be a number 2 on any other team.
Y'all look at my face.
Sammy Watkins was the number 1 on Buffalo, was he not?
And how did he do?
He was hurt. The dude stayed hurt. He put up numbers. He stayed hurt. Okay, continue. Let's go on.
Here's the perfect comparison. Tyreek Hill and Jakeem Grant. Jakeem Grant got hurt last night. You know what I mean? I hope he heals up and gets back soon. I feel like, in all honesty, those two players are the same exact players.
Do you?
They both short, stocky a little bit. Both run fast, very fast.
They both got the same hands.
I think that Patrick Mahomes makes Tyreek Hill look good. If you take Jakeem Grant,
I get it. Patrick Mahomes catches the ball for yeah. All right, yeah, you're right.
Listen, sometimes he does.
I guess that extended handoff thing is a real thing. That's what it is.
They both jump the same height. Like, I think you could literally legit, and maybe I'm exaggerating here a little bit, obviously, but you could take Grant and put him with Patrick Mahomes. I think he puts up similar numbers as Tyreek Hill.
You know what? They'll scheme him open.
Yeah, I agree.
It's all Andy Reid also. Andy Reid is elite.
Yeah, he is.
He designs. Yeah, so they'll scheme him open. Yeah, he would put up numbers on that offense. That's what it is. Because that's what it comes down to. It comes down to coaching and scheme also.
It does. And I'll say that's one of the problems right now that we have with the Dolphins is that you aren't scheming players open. Like, these players aren't running wide open, unfortunately, down the sideline. And so you're having to make tough throws. Kurt Warner, I guess, said this last night after the show, after the game. And so somebody put it on Twitter that basically Tua is not, it has to understand that Alabama Open is not the same as NFL Open, right? And so Tua got to begin to start getting rid of the ball. One of the biggest problems I saw last night was that he just kept taking sacks. Like, he was refusing to throw the ball. You're watching the game with me. I'm like, step up into the pocket, get rid of the ball, and boom, he's still holding on to the ball. And I'm like, yo, I got Ryan Tannehill again playing quarterback, man. But yeah, I think Tua. I will say this. Before people start saying that I'm hitting the panic button, I'm not hitting the panic button. I just saw. I think his name is Pete Brasco, NFL writer, talking about a national writer, talking about that we drafted the wrong quarterback. Pump the brakes on that. I disagree totally. Right. I definitely think we need better offensive play calling. I definitely think we need another offensive guard. On the offensive line, obviously, we need 2 or 3 receivers. We need a real running back. Let's be for real. Like, going into the season, nobody called the Dolphins winning 10 games this season, right? Nobody, right? And so let's not act like the Dolphins have so much talent that we think that they're an elite team. And no, this is a very bad team that is being well coached, that has a great defense, like you said earlier, and that has a great special teams. And so because of that, we need to see how Tua plays when he has better talent around him and better play calling. So I'm clearly not saying that I'm done with Tua. I'm just a little worried. That I thought he would be able to elevate his players around him, and I haven't quite seen that yet. But I am being patient because clearly we're going to make the playoffs. Go ahead.
You have to be patient because, dude, you people forget he is a rookie. He did not start week 1.
I don't want to hear that. Come on.
Like you just said, like the article you read. NFL Open is not the same as Alabama Open. How he's going to learn that? Experience. The boy's a rookie. Second year, they make their jump. Second, third year, they say, especially in the second year, everything slows down. They make their jump. People are going crazy for no reason. Dude, he is an elite quarterback. I think Tua is going to be the franchise quarterback. Bro, get him. And granted, like you were talking about, they got rid of majority of their best players last year when they traded basically the whole squad to get draft picks, dude. Like, it's a depleted roster. And you take that roster and 10 and 5?
10 and
5.
5.
10-5 now. Come on, dude. Like they can only get better, and they only are going to get better. So come on.
We weren't scheduled to talk about it, and we won't even talk about it. But I'm going to say that Coach Flores definitely deserves to be Coach of the Year, man. Like 10 and 5. Like you talking about a team that everyone thought would their max was 6 wins. Yo, like it's amazing to see where these boys at right now.
Especially with the pandemic going on, dude.
Oh yeah,
no off season, and you get the Dolphins 10 and 5. Come on, bro. Let's go.
Oh yeah. That's
a wrap.
Let's jump into this right quick, right? Let's talk a little bit about this team, Jon Gruden, your boy, right? My guy too. He's my guy too. I really like Jon Gruden. Not going so they're it's late in the game, right? The Dolphins just went up. They're up 23-22. Oakland has the opportunity to drive the length of the field. And like on the second play, third play of the series, they throw the ball up. We get a defensive pass interference. And now Oakland is inside the 20. I believe they were inside the 10 or inside the 20, one of the two. They're inside the 20, all right? And now all they need is a field goal, clearly to win. And they begin to just, instead of, you're watching the game, you see that Jacobs had opportunity to score twice, and both times he just stopped short because he doesn't want to score because they're trying to waste as much time and leave the Dolphins with no timeouts, which the Dolphins at that time didn't have no timeouts anymore. And so Jon Gruden decides he's going to play for the field goal instead of playing for the touchdown. So you tell me, Moses, in your estimation, was that the right move, wrong move? What did you think about that move, playing for the field goal instead of going for the TD?
Depending who you're talking to, like, okay, for me personally, I always think that you should play for the score because it's not guaranteed. First of all, it's not guaranteed nowadays that field goal kickers are automatic from wherever they're kicking from. So
yeah, just missed the extra point.
Exactly, especially when they were letting Jacobs like walk into the end zone, right? They're like, here, go inside, get the points, right? Take it, right? And like Nada wanted, so he like kneeled or he fell down short, whatever. I understand that because honestly, when you kick a field goal, first of all, when you deplete all their timeouts, you have 20-something seconds left, and you kick a field goal to go up 2 points, and after that, you do a touchback at the 25-yard line. 10 out of 10 times, let's not even say not out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times you win that game. They don't have enough time, right, to get that off, right?
True.
So whatever it is, if it wasn't for that penalty at the end of the game and basically that heave, like they shouldn't have won that game at all. But it would be a different story if they were up by 7 points. Well, it would have been 7 points to win the 2-point conversion. Up by 7 points with maybe say like a minute and something left, and then you play defense, it's going to be harder to go ahead and get that touchdown, right? So I understand why he did it because I remember earlier, I think it was week 7 when it was who was it? It was the Falcons versus the Lions, right? When Todd Gurley accidentally scored that touchdown.
Yeah.
They gave Stafford the ball at the 25 with 1:04 seconds left. And what happened? Last second throw, touchdown. I think it was a Hockenson. I could be wrong. Last second touchdown, game over. I understand why you do that, but it's better to go up 7 points and have them go the length of the field with, let's say, a minute left. That's what I would do. I don't know. That's what I would do.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I definitely think that. First of all, let me put this out there. I want to put this out there to the ether. I think it's our job, obviously, as fans / reporters / media personnel, to look back and second guess, and dissect what an individual had to do. But let's make it clear. Coaching is one of the toughest things to do in any job, in any industry, right? It's tough, period, right? And so any level, right? Because I coached a little bit, and I was coaching church league basketball, and I'm over here losing my hair on top of my head with the decisions that I have to make every game. Like, you got to be thinking 15 steps ahead. It's difficult. It's very tough. And so I want to just say that first and foremost. Okay, with that being stated, now let me go ahead and say what my thoughts are, right? I just think that you've got to be able to take the more points, right? Unless, just like I told you last night when we were sitting on the couch, unless you are clearly not going to leave any time, absolutely any time on the clock, you got to take the more points, right? In that case, the more points was the TD, all right? Now, granted, what happened with them, and just like you just said, 10 out of 10 times, that decision with 19 seconds left, you getting the ball, like, let's be honest, 10 out of 10 times, you're not scoring right there, right? But being that Jason Sanders is a really, really good kicker. He's been kicking 50 yards all season long. I would have rather scored a TD and say you got to go with 19 seconds all the way to the end zone than saying, hey, I'm going to let Jason Sanders get the opportunity indoors, mind you. It was indoors to kick a 54, 55-yard field goal. It didn't work out for him. His team, it's bad luck on his part, but I also think it's bad coaching. Even in the when Fitz finally gets the chance, the last drive, and I guess another thing before I go there, another thing with the coaching, I guess part of his decision was that he didn't think his defense probably could stop them, so that's why he was like, let me leave them as little time as I can. And of course, his defense made the two blunders, right? You get a face mask, and then on top of that, you give up a huge chunk. Even if we didn't get the face mask, even if the Dolphins didn't get the face mask, we're sitting at the 40-yard line. You need one more play. You get a 10-yarder, bring Jason Sanders in. At least we're in field goal range. And so, yeah, it was interesting at the end of the game. But all I know is that we needed that win because this playoff race is super, super, super tight. And I know if we had lost, obviously things could have broken our way and we could have still maybe got in. But I'm glad that we're still in control of our destiny. So with that being said, let's talk about this playoff picture. First of all, let's talk about an interesting thing, right? I think in our very first YouTube or second one, we talked about the Ravens getting shafted and having to play against the Steelers. And now, with the Dolphins winning yesterday, the Ravens might not get into the playoffs, and they're probably the hottest team in the NFL right now. How do you feel about that?
That's sad. Yeah, no, I really want to see the Ravens in the playoffs, dude. They're playing hot right now, and I think they can hang with anybody in the AFC going into the playoffs. I really can say it. But it's their own doing also. It's like if they didn't handle their own business. You got to handle you cannot rely on other teams to get you where you want to get out. The easiest way to get to point A to point B or whatever is doing it yourself, getting there yourself, handling your business, winning the games that you were supposed to win, right? And then get into and get into the playoffs. They didn't do that. Now they have to rely on the Dolphins, the Browns, yeah. Or the Colts. They got to rely on all of them to lose one game because they'll have like the tiebreaker over the Browns and the Colts. They'll have that, the head-to-head matchup. They'll have that, but they have to rely on them to lose a game. So they can legit go 11-5 and not make the playoffs. So that's tough because I really want to see them in the playoffs.
And the crazy part about it is the year that the NFL decides to add the extra spot, right? The year that they decided you might get an 11-5 team that might not make the playoffs. Even a 10-6 team might not make the playoffs, and that's insane to think about. I just like you. In all honesty, as much as I love my Dolphins, I really, really love my Dolphins. I would rather see the Ravens into the playoffs because I think that brings so much excitement. I would love to see Pat Mahomes versus Lamar Jackson in the AFC Championship game and see how that breaks out. But I don't know how it's gonna break out because Indianapolis versus Steelers today is a huge, huge game. What do you think about that game? Who do you think breaks out? Who do you think wins that game?
It's close to call, dude. It is really close to call. I can see. Well, Indianapolis is playing good football. The defense is high. I rated high. I don't know, 1, 2, somewhere around there. I know they're like a top 3 defense rated, right? So I can see them winning, and I can also see the Steelers winning and finally getting off the 3-game skid that they're on, putting the effort, because they still can get the number 2 seed and actually have home field advantage until the AFC Championship game, right? They can still get that. So I can see them fighting for that, but that game is a toss-up. It's 50-50. It can go either way.
Man, it's insane to think about this playoff picture for the AFC and the NFC too. Yeah, NFC too. You know, I'm up there in Chicago Bear country, and so it'll be interesting to see if Mitch Trubisky can guide the Bears into the playoffs. That'd be so funny because they were so ready. Everybody in Chicago so ready to get rid of Mitch. Everybody I talked to, so it'd be funny to see him get them boys into the playoffs. Let's go real quick down to 2 more quick topics, and then we out of here. What do you think about the NBA? So we're gonna jump into the NBA real quick. What team has impressed you so far the first week of the NBA season?
Man, that has to be the Brooklyn Nets, man. Like the Nets, yo, son, the Nets is crazy right now. The way that they're playing basketball, I think they blew out 2 teams already. Like the way they're playing basketball, especially the way Durant came in, and it's like he hasn't been off for like almost 2 years. He just came in and picked up exactly where he left off. He is just that dominant. And Kyrie is playing great basketball. Everybody's writing Kyrie off like he's done. So he is just that dominant. So yeah, the Nets is basically the team that impressed me so far the most.
Amen with the Nets. I'm not gonna lie, they are now my number 1 rivals in the East, obviously, and I can't wait till Miami plays the Nets so I can get a feel of how good the Nets are. No, not how good the Nets are, because the Nets are clearly good, but to get a feel of how good my Heat are. Definitely, I think the teams that impress me the most. And I'm gonna say the opposite way, right? I'm very disappointed in Golden State right now to have gone 0-2 in two blowouts. Granted, they played 2 really, really good teams. Obviously, 2 of the top teams in the NBA. But I'm very disappointed to see them getting blowed out by 20. They've lost. I read somewhere they've lost a total both games by a total of 65 points. 65 points. Come on, man. Stephen Curry, you're a champion, man. You can't be getting blowed out by 65 points in 2 games. You got to find a way to win these games somehow. I know you don't have your full team. I know Draymond's still on the bench. I know that Klay isn't there, but I need you to do something. You can't be. I'm very disappointed in that. And real quickly, I'm very impressed by the Magic that started off 2-0. For those that don't know, I really was a Magic fan for a very long time before I flip-flopped back to the Heat. And so I'm impressed. They beat the Heat the first game of the season, and so that's impressive. And I'm impressed by Pop. Pop got his San Antonio 2-0, and so maybe them boys might be for real. They got one of the boys from that played at UM starting now for the Spurs, and so I'm interested to see how the Spurs play out in the big boy West. I don't even think it's the big boy West no more. I'm done with the West. It ain't the big boy West no more. It's the big boy East now. All the big boys are coming from the East, and LeBron's not winning a championship again. I'm done with that guy. Anyway, hey, let's end on this note. So the Moses' wife, he tried to set me up yesterday, right? She tried to set me up decent, right? So she trying to get us to do a challenge, right? And she trying to put up money, and y'all know I love money, right? She talking about $250, y'all. What do y'all think about this? She said
that's how much it was?
She said $250, bro.
You didn't even tell me about the money. Go ahead.
Oh, she said $250. She wants us to say to fast, basically by fasting, meaning that we don't jump on social media. We don't we are allowed to watch TV, but it needs to be very limited. Basically fast from all those things, basically electronics. Basically, we're going to stay away from electronics for about a week. She says from Sunday to Sunday. First of all, is that possible? Do you think you can make that happen?
I can make it happen during the off season. She's getting to the thick of things. Like, what is she talking about? Like, it don't make no sense to me. Well, she did tell me about the $250 though. Like, yeah, for $250, things I can pick up, and $250 can help a lot. But no, man, we got basketball, we got football. Like, you know what I'm saying? If she wants the money that bad, then come on, I'll just give it to her. Let's go. You can have it. Nah, it's getting down to playoffs. I don't know about that, man.
It is crucial. I won't lie to you. It is crucial. That's the first thing I was thinking about. I was like, yo, this is playoff run right now. So basically, if I did that, that means I wouldn't know anything about what happened with the Bills next week. Like, nah, man, I like, but it's interesting. I love the idea behind it, obviously, to unplug from all these things, and just be able to focus on the more important things, such as spending time with family, spending time with God. And so I understand where they're coming from. I countered them today, and I told them, Jerlene, your sister, today, I told them, maybe we can't do a full week, but maybe we could do 3 days. Let's do 3 days. Let's see who can do it. But they said, if we're doing 3 days, then we need to completely unplug. No, nothing at all. And obviously the money would be less. But it's something to think about as you listen to this YouTube. I just want to encourage you. Think about the things that you need to unplug from, that you need to pull away from, because those things are pulling you away from something positive that you should be doing at all times. And with that being stated, hey, listen, I'm just going to say this before I sign out and let Moses get the last word in. Y'all know this thing? Oh, first of all, check me out on Sports Genius 777 on Twitter. Make sure you go like and subscribe YouTube page. But y'all know the Miami Heat had a big win against the Pelicans. Y'all know my Canes got some good news. King is back. Hey, top 5 to start the season. See me, Alabama. I'm coming for you. Moses, tell the people where we at.
No, come. Hey, like, subscribe. Go ahead and follow us in the videos. LM Sports Talk. We're here every week, hitting you with that knowledge if we can. Yeah, man, just tell a friend, subscribe, check us out, man. Thanks for your time. That's it, man.
Run those numbers up. We out of here. Go Fins.